Hi everyone, this is Miss Jenny at Lake County Public Library. The past few weeks have been rough. It's hard to watch what's happening in the news, and it may make you feel angry or scared or sad. I think the best way to get through times like these is to talk to someone. Today I'm going to read a chapter of a story like we do each week, but this week the story I've chosen is similar to what you see going on in the news. I encourage you to watch this video with someone that makes you feel safe and that you can have a conversation after the story about how it makes you feel. Maybe you can talk about what we can do to make the world a better place. This book is called A Good Kind of Trouble by Lisa Moore Rameh. I've selected a chapter from the middle of the book to read to you, but I encourage you to read the book together in its entirety. The full audiobook is available on our website at lcplin.org/audiobooks through Hoopla. You can access it with your library card for free with no wait. This chapter is called Silent Protest. When we get outside, there's a large group of people chanting and holding up signs blocking our way. A woman with a megaphone is yelling about justice. I've never seen so many angry faces, and even though I know none of them are mad at me, it still feels scary to be surrounded by all that anger and yelling. Mama grips my hand. No justice, no peace, a bunch of people shout. A loud crash makes me jump. Someone threw a rock through a store window, and I squeeze tight to Mama. I'm not used to feeling so small, like I'm getting swallowed. Everyone is jostling and trying to get closer to the entrance of the mall, and Mama and I can barely get through. This is the first time I've seen a protest up close. On the news, it seems like it would be exciting, but this is scary. Someone shoves me and makes me lose my grip on Mama's hand. Mama, I shout. I turn around, but I don't see her, just a sea of frowning faces. Mama, I cry again. And then she's there grabbing my hand. Come on, she says, just about yanking me through the people to get to the parking lot. We crunch over the glass covering the sidewalk. Mama and I rush to the car, but after she shoves her bags in the trunk and we climb into the car, she sits there without turning on the engine. For a few seconds, all I hear is both of us breathing. Then she turns on the car and we pull out of the lot. Police officers are arguing with protesters, and a tall man with dreads has his hands handcuffed behind him. He's getting arrested? I've never seen someone in handcuffs except on television. I guess they think he's the one who broke that window. I chew on my lip, not knowing what to say. Mama tunes the radio to a news station. I hear a bunch of confusing trial talk. What are closing arguments? I asked. It means they're close to the end, Mama says. With the protesters outside, I thought maybe the verdict had already come out. She wipes sweat off her forehead. You thought the police officer was found innocent? I can't keep the shock out of my voice. Mama doesn't answer, which is the same as saying yes. But that won't happen, will it? I ask. No one knows, baby, but I know folks are starting to worry, and that makes them scared and angry. When we get back home, I don't know what to do with myself. I don't feel like calling Isabella anymore, and I don't want to do anything really, except sit in my room and feel miserable. That protest was awful, and the trial isn't even over. I can't imagine how bad things will be if the police officer is not found guilty. Hannah busts into my room without knocking. Stop moping around, she says. It's driving everybody crazy. There's too much going on in the world for you to be acting like some big baby. I am not, I shout. Excuse you, Hannah says, taking a step forward like she's going to punch me. Fine, I say, I'm sorry. She comes all the way into my room and sits next to me on the bed. Junior high is the worst. Trust me, I remember. But that doesn't mean you can ignore everything else. I'm not, Hannah. It's just, Mama and I saw a protest. I gulp thinking about it. I don't want that officer to get off, but everyone was so angry, and someone broke a window. Hannah nods. Yeah, me and Regina were talking about how bad things are getting. There was almost a riot at the last Black Lives Matter rally when a bunch of people started shouting against us. But stuff like that can make it seem like our movement is just about spreading violence. Are we about violence? I don't want the answer to be yes, even though I know we have plenty to be mad about. Hannah doesn't answer right away. She looks angry, but Hannah usually looks like that, so it's hard to know what it means. No, she finally says, but it can be hard to stay calm when sometimes it feels like people don't care about us, or act like they have to be afraid of us, or maybe want to control us. She adjusts her ponytail and looks like she's thinking hard. When a Black person gets shot and nothing happens, it's like we don't matter. And that makes me angry. And yeah, it makes me want to do something violent, make some noise, get attention. I want a scholarship to play ball next year, and it's not fair that I have to take some of the schools off my list because I would be afraid to live there. I don't know if a lot of white students have to worry about that. It's the first time I've seen Hannah look more scared than angry. It makes the whole thing with Julia and Isabella not seem important, which I guess was Hannah's point. I guess I have been a little whiny, I say softly. I bite my bottom lip. I wish I had a great big eraser that could just wipe away all the bad feelings. It's okay, Hannah says, bumping me with her shoulder. I probably whined a little bit at your age. Hannah stares at me for a second, tapping her fingers together, and then she says, Hey, you want to come with me to a rally at UCLA? Do you think it'll get violent? No, I don't think so. Not this one. This one is special. And I think it's time you started seeing what all this is about. If Mama will let me, I say. Let's go ask, Hannah says, and we both go find her. I don't know, Mama says at first. Daddy puts his arm around her shoulders. I think it's a good idea. In fact, I think we all need to go. In the car, Hannah tells us that it's going to be a silent protest. I'm not sure what that means. Seems like if we want anyone to pay attention, we have to yell and scream. But that's because I don't know there are all different sorts of noise. Daddy parks in a big parking garage, and when we get out of the car, I see him and Mama exchange looks back and forth. Mama comes over and grips my hand. It reminds me of when I was little and we'd walk to the library or be in the market, and she'd hold my hand so tight, making sure she didn't lose me. Hannah gets a sign out of the trunk. It says, Stand with us or stand out of the way. She hands me the sign that I made that says, We matter, over and over again in a bunch of different colors and with glitter sprinkled all over. I'm really proud of it. We start walking to Westwood, and all I can hear is cars swooshing by. Even though we haven't met up with the other marchers, it's like we're already doing the silent protest, because nobody says anything, but we're walking pretty fast. We turn the corner, and there's a whole bunch of people, holding candles and signs. Hannah is like a pro. She knows right where to go for us to get candles, and then she has us stand with a big group, and she does it without saying anything. I don't get a candle because I have a poster in one hand and I'm gripping Mama with my other hand. My cheeks are cold, but I brought gloves, so my hands are warm. And then we start marching. We fill up one whole side of the street. Cars that want to pass us go really slowly. And then no one says a word. That's when I find out how loud silence can be. Hundreds of people walking together, carrying candles and signs, but not saying one single word. Let me tell you, that's louder than anything. There are posters of Trayvon Martin and Philandro Castile and Alton Sterling and Michael Brown and Tamir Rice and Stephen Clark and a bunch more people who lost their lives. Too many. I get an awful lump in my throat seeing those faces. Most of them look really young. Mama keeps wiping away tears and squeezing my hand tight. A few people honk their horns at us, but I'm not sure if they're on our side or against us. Some people shout, All lives matter, and I know they're against us. For real. I keep looking at those posters of the people who got killed and looking at my daddy, and my mouth goes so dry, it's like trying to suck dirt. Not all the people walking are black, not by a mile, but it's still the biggest group of black people I've ever seen, even counting our big family reunion in Atlanta last summer. Although it's for a sad reason, there are also a lot of angry faces, but it feels good to be part of something, to belong. Lots of police officers watch us, and I wonder if they feel sad about the posters too, or if they are angry at us for marching. Some news reporters are there, but every time they try to stick a microphone in someone's face, the person just waves them away. When I was in first grade, our teacher would have us play the silent game. We had to see how long we would go without saying a word. Now that I'm older, I know she was just trying to have a few moments of peace. We never stayed quiet for too long. Something about not being able to talk always gave someone the giggles. But tonight, it's hard not to stay quiet, and for sure I don't feel like giggling. We marched from Westwood all the way up the hill to UCLA's campus, and then all of us, this huge group of people, stand there, quiet, holding candles, holding hands, and swaying like we all hear the same song, even though it's for a sad reason. It's sort of beautiful. Then one voice starts singing low and quiet. "We shall overcome," she sings, and everyone who knows the words starts singing too. When the song is over, we blow out our candles, and I can tell the protest is over. My family is pretty solemn on the way home, and it's like no one wants to be the first to break the silence. But then Daddy clears his throat. "How about some ice cream?" he asks. The only answer to that question is a big fat yes. I get a double scoop of pistachio, and Hannah gets her boring chocolate chip, and Daddy gets cake batter with cookie pieces crumbled in it. Lord, you all make my mouth hurt just thinking about all that sugar, Mama says, and then she orders a small mango sherbet. We sit inside, and it's like we're sitting inside a scoop of ice cream. It smells so sweet. You can't let the problems of the world stop you from enjoying life, Daddy says, with his mouth full of ice cream. Mama gives him one of her sweet looks that usually make Hannah and I roll our eyeballs right out of our head, but tonight we let her get away with it. Then Daddy reaches over and grips Hannah's hand. "You and your friends need to be careful out on those streets. You hear me? You can't be giving anyone a reason to hassle you." "Like they need a reason," Hannah says, licking a drip of ice cream off her cone. "Did you hear what I said?" Daddy's voice has that serious edge that means you best pay attention. "Okay," Hannah says in a quiet voice. When we get back home, I write about all the things I observed at the march. When the phone rings, I don't even think about it before picking it up. I'm completely ready to stop being angry at my friends. "Hello? Oh, hey, Shayla, this is, hi, Tyler." I cut him off. Life is short. "Oh, yeah, hey, yeah, so you recognize my voice, huh?" "Something like that," I say, starting to bite a hangnail. "What's up?" "Yeah, well, I've been hanging out with my boys, just doing stuff, and, well, I've been kind of thinking about you, wondering what you were doing." "Not much," I say. Then there's a big pot of nothing, and I wait for Tyler to think of something else to say. I can hear him breathing. One of us has to say something. "Oh, I went to a march for Black Lives Matter." "That sounds cool." Tyler sounds relieved that he has something to say, but I don't want to start talking to Tyler in any type of way. "Yeah, it was," I say. "Hey, I gotta go." "Okay, but, what I wanted to ask you, real quick, it'll just take a minute." He pauses. I sputter out, "I'll talk to you at school," and hang up. For the rest of vacation, I don't answer the phone, and my parents are under strict instructions to say I'm busy if Tyler calls again. Mama says a boy doesn't have any business calling me anyway. I don't want to tell my friends about Tyler calling because that will just lead us back to the dance, and that will make me mad all over again. Daddy asks me very sarcastically, "Is there anyone you are talking to?" I don't even bother answering him. Silence can be super loud. Thank you for watching. If you would like to reach out to us to share your thoughts or to get more resources on how to open a conversation about these topics, please reach out to us at kids@lcplin.org. Thank you.